Imagine you are a single parent working 2 jobs and you're not only struggling to build a better life for you and your children, you are doing so in a mold-infested home. How and why? Bobeth Yates is here to explain. Bobeth.
Well, Alan, the property I went into was filled with mold and the air quality was so bad that it was difficult for me to breathe. And the resident says she's had to endure those conditions for years.
Okay. That's why all the mold.
Vernice Harris gave us a tour of her home. It's public housing off 24th Street in North Sarasota. She's a single mom with 4 kids. She works 2 jobs, but she can only afford to live in this home filled with mold. It's on the baseboard, the window frames, and even the walls.
That's why I got this picture here, because look at this wall. I don't know, just make me in tears to look at this.
Harris believes the dark spots now peering through the wall is mold growing underneath layers of paint. In every room, there was some sign of growing mold, some obvious and others just tiny spots.
We started getting sick off of this stuff, and there's no one doing anything about it.
Harris has lived in her unit for years and says the entire time mold has been a constant battle. She was recently admitted into the hospital with shortness of breath. Her son has also developed breathing problems and is constantly having nosebleeds.
Don't even know how my health is. Breathing is all in this all the time, you know? It comes and go, comes and go. I can cry, I can just break down and cry because I feel like it's nothing else I can do.
Over the years, Harris has made multiple complaints to Housing Authority management, and they've come out to clean several times. In this picture taken about 3 months ago, you see one of the areas of concern. The mold was cleaned and painted over by Housing Authority officials, but the area now looks like this. Allergist Dr. Hugh Wyndham says breathing in mold can cause major health problems.
So there's both allergic reactions to mold and there's toxic exposures to mold. Toxic would be the high levels that you're exposed to in some abnormal environment. And that can cause respiratory problems as mold gets into your respiratory tract.
While Wyndham says mold respiratory infections are rare, the impact can be extreme.
If it's an allergy, it'll get better. It's like removing a cat from home. So if you can reduce the mold exposure, the allergy part will get better. The toxic effect, it can be a little different. Once you've had the toxic problem, that may lead into more of a chronic disease state. People can cough, have breathing problems, can affect the sinuses as well.
Despite the major health concerns, it is not uncommon for the Public Housing Authority facilities to battle mold. Sarasota Housing Authority President William Russell says he is constantly having to address these kinds of maintenance issues.
Our properties are like 80, 70, and 60 years old here. So we have really old apartments that have been, you know, they've seen a lot of wear and tear over the years.
Russell says the age of their buildings result in all types of obstacles. In addition to wear and tear, the Housing Authority is funded by the federal government, and the appropriations have been on a steady decline.
Over the last 10 years, the capital grants that we get to modernize our units, you know, replace kitchens, windows, doors, bathrooms, that funding is pretty much at its lowest point in a long time.
In addition to low funding, Russell says when tenants like Harris have concerns, the high demand for their units limit the options for relocating residents.
So right now we have about 700 people on our waiting list, and it's been closed for a while. And we only have 260 apartments here. So, and some of those units, you know, don't turn over very frequently.
In addition to high demand, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development policies mandate his agency must house 7 residents for every 1 transfer they make, which leaves people like Harris, who can't afford to move out of subsidized housing, stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I want something better for me and my kids. And, you know, the more I think about it, it just brings tears to my eyes. It really does, because I know that I'm really not able to just like step out there and find something better.
Now, since conducting the interviews for this story, the Sarasota Housing Authority has hired a company to professionally remove and mitigate the mold. They've also provided the homeowner with information on what she can do to help control the growth of mold in her unit.
Bobeth, thank you.